New days, no mask, no shame. Still me, just leveling the game.
Hey there, amazing friends. Welcome back to Life After 40 with Lana, where we make this chapter the best one yet. So, today I'm doing something a little different. As you might see, I have this amazing background. It is artwork actually done by my late brother who has recently passed. He was probably one of my best friends. Not probably, he was a best friend of mine. I love his artwork. It might be something that I may be sharing throughout this journey. I haven't decided yet, but for now, I am using it as my background. It's just a reminder to me of how much I so love him so very much, and he is with me every single day. He was one of my number one cheerleaders in this lifetime, and I know he's still cheering me on from another realm. So this is to him, and again, I love him so much. So this is what we have going on. But today, like I said, we are doing something just a little bit different, starting with this beautiful background. It is some Celtic artwork that it was a passion of his. He worked for the majority of his life, was a total self-admitted workaholic. And I think it's important that we recognize as people, as we're going through life, it's something that I had a lot of conversation with him. He was my older brother, and I was and still am forever grateful. I looked up to him um as setting an example to me in many different ways because you know, uh, he showed me value in so many different things in life and appreciation in life. And I'm going to keep this short because that's not what this video is about right now entirely. However, I just want to say in many conversations that we had, as often we might do when we have family members that we might be close with, is that we would discuss, work, right? Working. And I think the average person might agree, maybe not, because again, he was a self-admitted workaholic, and he realized that life was passing him by in a lot of ways where he felt like he was just working just to he spent the majority of his time at work, but then it was just to pay the bills for a house that he was never in, really, right? So, and I think a lot of America, at least, could probably say this, that this is something that happens. And we don't find enjoyment in life when we should. But my story is in a sense where I went through a lot of ups and downs in my life, where I had actually been working from the time that I was 10 years old. Um, True story. Again, for another time. But I had worked from the time I was 10 years old up until I was about 18, because I became a young mother. And then I got married. I was married for over 20 years.
Oh no!
And then I entered a new chapter in my life when I became divorced and raised children on my own, which is something that I never really foresaw happening, but it happened. I went through different things where I had become had suffered health issues. And, but this is not, I don't feel that my situation is unique to anybody else. And I do feel that there are people out there who can relate. If you're somebody who can relate, please, I invite you to share, and you're watching this video, share down below if you can relate to some of what I'm speaking on, because I've also found in some of my life experiences, sometimes it was really hard for me to share some of what I went through. Like, even when I had met people in person, and I would share some of my story with people and getting to know people and then meeting friends and things of that nature. But then I realized there are a lot of people who go through similar things, or um you know sometimes worse, right, situations. Okay, so I'm not going to go on and on about this, because what I really came here to talk about right now is just the job market situation where it currently is. But just a bit of background where I come from. As I said, I worked for a number of years, and then I became a mom. And then I went through what I went through. Like I said, that's a story entirely for a different time. But I went and I put myself through school because that's something that was very important to me, regardless of my age. I was able to accomplish that. And, I received two of my degrees within the tech field. And since I've been out of school over those last several months, I did get a job. I will save that for another video. So look for that one, because that was a very interesting story and you're not going to want to miss that. Keep an eye out for that. And so, basically, now here I am again looking for a job, and today I just received an email, and I want to share that with you all, because I've been receiving these emails with, if any of you are familiar with Glassdoor, uh, which is like a search site, right?
Hi, Editing Lana here. Just a quick overview for those of you who may not know what Glassdoor is. I did type into Google what is Glassdoor, and an AI overview of Glassdoor. It says here it is an online platform where users can find job listings, research companies, and read anonymous employee reviews about salary, culture, and work-life balance. So that's just a bit of an overview. And again, if you also go to Glassdoor itself, will of course give you an About Us webpage where you can read more about them there. But I just wanted to give a quick overview for those of you who may not know what Glassdoor is.
Um, this is the email that I received. And it is like they have this forum where people are talking about, and I've seen this several times over now with this forum where people are having a really hard time. Now, I do notice that some of these comments come from some of the people in this group. They're from other places, like maybe not necessarily always within the United States. So this job, the job market has really been affecting people everywhere, it seems, not just in the United States, right? So it has been really interesting to see. And I wanted to share this with you all, just to kind of give a brief overview. If any of you have not seen this yet, um, of what's really been going on, right? So here we go, where it says job hunting in tech, which is again in the field that I'm in. And then I will talk to you more about this and what some of my experiences have been, because I really have not, just because it's been intimidating to me, to be quite honest. And I'll go into a little bit about that. But here it says from this one, I guess, user, SCSA, says, this is the toughest tech market I've seen, worse than the dot-com crash in 2002, nearly 30 years in network architecture experience, network patents, one of two principal network architects working on a $1 billion revenue project, keeping skills fresh, yet none of it matters. The moment recruiters HR realize I'm 55 plus, their tone and facial expression shifts. Ageism in tech is real and it is exhausting. I keep pushing forward, but it feels like experience and value no longer count for much. Here's another one from Senior Product Manager, the username Senior Product Manager 1, that just says keep your resume short, last 3 roles, last 7 to 10 years only. Erica Allen, sure, consider micro expressions that show they are trying to distract. Okay. So anyways, and then here's another one. His or her name is Web Designer SharePoint 1. I'm 61 years old, got laid off this past May because I wasn't learning the new system fast enough. And okay, so they go on, right? Because this is a long paragraph, but as you can see, there are a lot of people here. There is another person. Oh, okay. There are a lot of people here who discuss, and as I said, when I explained earlier, here is a software developer in Africa discussing their problems with finding a job. Um, being ignored because they're all US based or Canada, which is interesting when you think about the fact that there's a shift now, right? Supposedly there's a shift because now we're seeing where before, as we heard, that things were being sent overseas, but now you're hearing that this person is claiming that they can't find anything because now everything's here in America or Canada. So that's what they're assuming, I guess. I don't know. I will have to fact check that or something if I want to get that deep. But this person right here, where it says job hunting in tech, which is the last one I will read, says I've got over 20 years of experience. I'm having a difficult time finding work. I've seen others in the same position. Any newbies having the same problem? So as I said, I just wanted to share this because, I mean, it's a lot of people, scrolling through it, a lot of people, and this is something that I've seen before. I don't know if any of you have seen any of this. Please comment down below. I would like to know what some of your experiences are, because I feel like learning about what's going on out there is just something not only to be aware of, but maybe it can somehow be helpful to other people, right? Sharing experiences I feel, is the only way that people can help one another get through it. I was explaining in a conversation with somebody the other day that when we were talking about the job market and everything that's going on, because it feels like it's this stagnant thing, and we've been reading the news reports, and I've been seeing stuff as far as, it's a real thing where they're saying that employers are having this pick of how many people, because there's so many people applying for this one position, you know, I'm speaking about, like, if there's one position open as at a company, right? No matter where it's at, there's all these people who are applying for it, and these employers know about that. So a lot of what's going on is they are not wanting, they're doing things like they're ghosting applicants. I can say this as far as I've even had this experience, meaning there was a job that I went on an interview for, and it went really well. And I was even told that I was being offered the position, that I just had to go to one more interview with the woman who would be my supervisor. And as long as everything went well, it was most likely that I was going to be starting the job the following week, because I had already passed the interview with two of the supervisors. So that those two supervisors who was sitting in both concurrently on the interview with me that I had said to me, both of them said to me that we were just going to have one final interview with the supervisor who was going to be my immediate supervisor, but they needed to schedule with her. And then as soon as I was done with that interview, then I was going to start the job, because they both told me I was a perfect fit for the job. Well, the following week came, and I was literally ghosted by this company and these supervisors, and I just couldn't get over it. Like, I was like, this is a thing? Like is this seriously a thing right now? And and then I started seeing news reports about it, and like watching videos and seeing other people having these experiences, because at first I thought, what did at first I thought, what did I do wrong? Is there something I did wrong? Because I tried following up, because we're taught in these professional experiences, like, I the interview went really well. I thought I did everything I was supposed to do, but I followed up as far as giving the employer a call, no answer. Left messages, no answer. I continued to follow up. I sent messages, I sent emails. There was no answer. I was completely ghosted. And then after that, I said, you know what? I did to myself, I did everything possible. Well, and I also spoke with some friends of mine. I did everything possible, everything I possibly could do, right? I did everything I possibly could do. And because nothing was going, I said, do I really want to work for a company like this? And ultimately, I decided no. So, which is really unfortunate, because I thought that the interview went really well as well. But I've noticed that I can't say, I see some people in some of these job forums like posting about how they're applying for 500 jobs, 1,000 jobs. Like, some of them are going on interviews after interviews after interviews with their personal experiences, and they're still not getting a job. And like, some of them claim that they have all this prior work history, professional work history. And it's just like, I'm hearing that people are saying, even when you network, like, networking is the key, but like, networking in and of itself is becoming a job. And unless you're willing to take what's totally below your pay grade and basically be overworked, underpaid, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's tough. So if there's anybody out there who's watching this video and you've got an experience, or if there's any ideas you have that can help overcome what's going on, please, I invite you to comment down below about this, about what's going on, because there could be others out there who could totally benefit from your experience. And share it, because right now the best thing you can do is stay positive, is what I'm seeing. Continue on, because what I've learned is to uh do the best I can. Right now I am getting some things together with my own, as far as creating a space for me, keeping positive, figuring out the things I can do rather than what I can't do. What I've learned from the interviews, and keeping, as far as keeping informed in what's going on in this job space, right, of the economy, which is to understand that it's like that whole mentality of what goes up must come down, right? And basically, it's like we're at this all-time high of nonsense. And it's got to stop sooner or later. It's got to stop. And it's all going to even out sooner or later. And it will. So in the meantime, it's just having the ability to push on forward and be where you're meant to be, but not to take, how should I say it? Not to lower yourself into the depths of depression or, and that's why this is one of the reasons why I created this channel. This is what has led me here, so to speak, because I wanted to do something positive with my life. And this is the direction I'm heading in, is positivity over, you know, anything else, to overcome everything. I've been through way too much than to let something like this bring me down. So anyways, like I said, please comment down below. This has been long enough, so I'm going to end this video here. I hope you amazing people are having an amazing day. I hope you somehow found this video helpful and useful, and see you soon. Don't forget, if you're watching this video, please like and subscribe. That means I can keep making these videos. And I'd love to hear from you, love to hear your input. I hope you're having an amazing day. Bye, friends.
Real tough, new days, no mask, no shame. Still me.